In this week's episode, I'll discuss how Venus meets up with Pluto for the first time. She will meet up with him 3 times all the way from now till March 3rd, and how we can work on our relationships from an internal basis. So to hear more, tune into this episode of Astrological Intentions.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Astrological Intentions. I am your host, Alex Reevy, along with the chilly chanter herself, Sandy Reevy.
I know where you're going with that because it's getting chillier.
It is episode 176, December 6th. Let's get right into it. In the transits, we have today, December 6th, Mars sextile Pluto.
Search to find.
Tuesday, December 7th, Mercury square Neptune.
Is this correct?
Wednesday, December 8th, Mars square Jupiter.
Wise actions.
Saturday, December 11th, Venus conjunct Pluto.
Falling hard.
And Saturday, December 11th, same, Mercury sextile Jupiter.
Here's the first touchstone.
And Sunday, December 2nd, Sun square Neptune.
Take time out.
Then in Talisman Times, Sandy has finished the talisman to be protected, and the upcoming to acquire and receive respect. Then on the horizon, we have holiday sales going on. Our December 7th holiday trunk show, astrology webinar on December 8th, our 2022 astrology special forecast on the 18th, and January 15th, Sandy's talisman ceremony for Venus rising. Then in our house, Sandy and I just celebrated our first Hanukkah, and we want to tell you a little bit about this wonderful holiday tradition spent with friends. So stay tuned for this episode of Astrological Intentions.
And so you finally know you control where you go.
Hello, Chili Chanter.
I know. I always love to know what you're going to say. So we never discuss that in advance.
Nope. It's always a surprise to you.
To me. And that I know where you're going because I do my chanting every night and actually every morning and every evening. And I have been, obviously when I started this summer, I did it outside as the sun was rising, and then I would do it outside on my deck, on my rooftop deck when the sun was setting. And so now it's a little bit shifted, and now I don't do it in the morning outside. I do it somewhere else in my house, and then at night I try to do that outside in my zero balance chair, right? So I can bundle up. I've got a coat on, I got slippers, I got a hat, I got a scarf, and I'm in 2 big blankets, but it's kind of my deep breath, my fresh air time where I do my, my 108 mantras.
Right.
And it's chilly enough where then I get into my warm jammies and prepare for the night. And it can make me almost cry right now how sacred that is for me.
And there's so much to that simplicity that you have going on with that, ritual. Mm-hmm. So
in fact, last night, I asked, hey, Alex, I'm going up on the deck. Do you want to go? What was your answer?
Absolutely not. I am not a cold person. I can't do it. My hands and fingers lose circulation. I'm still trying to figure that out. And the only thing that I can really figure out is one day I need to live by a beach. A very, very warm one.
Okay. So. All right, we'll start. Well, and you've already got your sights set for something like that. So
yes.
Cool.
So I want to start off, go direct to all of you listeners. This holiday season is a really wonderful time to give gratitude. And we are so grateful for each and every one of you sharing your Mondays with us and, get your astrology knowledge from this podcast. So I do want to share a message from a talisman client of yours and of ours. And it's kind of a cool story. It's more of like a testimony of what really happened once she purchased her talisman. So this is Nicole, and she says, I guess I'll start from the beginning. We had just done the 7-day intention challenge. I've been working on my personal talisman deliberately for a couple of years now, and the 7-day challenge was the first break where I started using other intentions and affirmations. I thought maybe I'm ready to even add another talisman. I went onto the site and was not feeling called specifically to one, since a few could have worked. Then I went to bed and I dreamed specifically of the I increase my monetary income talisman. In the dream, I can't even describe how vivid the colors were, and even the intention nearly lifted off the page. When I woke up, I popped it into my shopping cart online because I just couldn't let it go. And in between the time of ordering the talisman online and it arriving, I received a promotion at work that involved a $2,500 per month raise, and with the opportunity to renegotiate in just a few months' time for an even larger increase. So yay!
Yay! When she told me that story, she told me that in the activation call, and it was like, oh my gosh, can I please use this on air, for our going direct? She's like, absolutely.
Yeah, so cool.
Just because she had the dream, she dreamt about that particular one, and it just, everything was attracting and attaching to her. That, and it was unexpected. It was out of the blue.
Wow.
She was not expecting a raise, and she didn't ask for one. And it wasn't up for, she hadn't been there long enough to be, in the ranking to actually get one, but they love her so much. So anyway, just
That's
kind
great.
of the activation of, wanting something or desiring something or wanting to start to request something new, right?
Right. And also kind of see those little hints that are dropped around us.
And so, boy, she hadn't even, it's like she had bought it, hadn't received it yet. And,
Right.
and now she's, anticipating as this monetary improvement. Read the intention again.
It's
just to improve monetary gains.
Right.
And she's got something on the future, just months away that she can renegotiate for higher money.
So exciting. Congratulations.
Yeah,
Congratulations, Nicole.
Yeah. I mean, sometimes our talismans work immediately, i.e., or they take a while. But regardless, we can get in the ballpark. Sometimes we can overshoot in a good way, right? And sometimes it's right on the money or right on the dot, and sometimes it's just nearby. But either way, we're working toward a goal.
Yes.
And it's really important to work on goals this time of year, right? Or this entire year, because things have been so shifting.
And that reminds me of the retreat that we had in Mexico a year ago.
Almost 2 years
almost
ago.
2 years, my goodness. Almost 2 years ago, and it was about creating new roots, and really diving them deep into the ground so that we had, some sort of solid foundation. And, just like you're doing with your mantras, with an intention, we can really root in and ground down and have the foundation come from an internal space, than trying to find that foundation in a more chaotic external space.
Well, which is a good point, because I want to talk about when we are on the horizon, when we get to the Venus retrograde period that we're about to get into in the next 2 weeks, that I'm holding a Venus rising talisman ceremony. This is her heliacal rise, and we'll talk about that. But that's kind of, we're going into the deep, into the underground, into the coals, into the furnace throughout this December 18th through the end of January. And so when she makes her heliacal rise, she'll still be retrograde, but she's out of the heat or the furnace, we shall say, after her conjunction with the sun. So she's more pure here. She has more energy. So so I'm going to, invigorate everybody to sign up for that. Although I don't think we have any.
We don't have any links yet. However, I will get those by next week. Let's move into the transits, because I want to get this discussion rolling. So today, Monday, December 6th, Mars sextile Pluto.
So this is at 25 degrees, and both of these planets are these are the power forces. Mars powered up in Scorpio, where he is in his domicile. And a sextile is taking the opportunity, watching for the opportunities and moving on them to Pluto. And Pluto is direct here. And Pluto's going to start moving out of this 25 degree area and not come back. And this is search to find. So this is search to find what? The truth, right? Mm-hmm. This opening up the trunks and opening up boxes and jars and doors and opening them up bags and things that you have kind of forgotten or you're looking or searching for something. And in order to do that, it could be where you're literally looking through trunks and boxes. And like I cleaned out my closet a couple weeks ago, mm-hmm. which I haven't done in a long time, and found some gems, things that I don't even really remember, not even just forgot. I mean, literally, seriously, forgot.
Yeah.
But you can do this by asking questions, asking the hard questions that you're ready to face. Because what those answers are can really get gritty, can get really tough, we could use the word intense, but you're getting the most out of your questions. So asking any, like, did you do this or did you not do this? That kind of question. And you're mm-hmm. in that search to find. But, again, remember that when you ask these questions, you are asking for the truth, and hopefully the person being asked the question is answering the truth. So be ready for the truth,
mm-hmm.
right?
Right.
Be ready for the hard answer because you asked a hard question.
Yes.
So, and this actually is the day Hanukkah ends too. So, interesting that, it ends on this Monday at sundown. And we're going to talk a little bit about Hanukkah
mm-hmm.
in our house.
So Tuesday, December 7th, Mercury square Neptune.
Yeah, this is a square. We've got Mercury here making the square to Neptune. And it's like, is this correct? Am I right about this? I don't want to assume. I remember my very first job outside of radiology school, where my boss sat me down and wrote down the word assume and then separated it into the words, right? The 3 words. And I'll never forget that. So, you don't want to make an ass out of you and me mm-hmm. by making that assumption. So, this is the planet of communication and the planet of commerce. So, Mercury is acting as if he's retrograde, although he's not. But when he's squaring Neptune, it's like, kind of like, I don't understand what is going on. What are you saying? I don't understand the conversation you're mm-hmm. having. There's something unsure here. So it's like, keep asking till you get it.
Okay.
Until you get the response that is clear enough for you to make your decision, make your next step. But I do want to remind you that we just talked about Monday the 6th is that search to find hard questions with hard answers, right? And then the next morning is the 7th is this unsuredness. So, in that could be like, you may be plotting more. So the question on Monday, of course, this can come in on Sunday, a couple days in advance and a couple mm-hmm. days after. So these are kind of connected because it's like you want to get your final answer, understand it. You might have to ask a lot of clarifying questions around it. But if you're asked those questions, deliver it correctly.
Right.
Not so cloudy or faded.
Yes.
Right. So it's Tuesday the 7th could be a little bit of a difficult day to get clarity.
Right.
So.
Well, and who wants to be the person to ask all the clarifying questions and be like a nag, or be on the receiving end of that. So I understand it can be a little bit difficult, in asking those questions.
Right. And it's too, it's like, if you have to nag, that might even be your answer, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you're not getting the answer or not getting a straightforward response, that might be your answer.
Okay.
Right? That whatever your question is not being honest or truthful because you're not getting it direct.
Right.
Or you're not getting substantiated information. Like, don't you remember I was heading over this way and it's when the car was out of gas and, and like where you're not getting additional information to add to
legitimize it.
Right. Yes,
so
true. Yeah.
Let's move to Wednesday, December 8th, Mars square Jupiter.
Wise actions. So we can see Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, right? That this is really interesting information that we're gathering because there's a whole lot of energy here. Mars in Scorpio is now at 26 degrees, squaring Jupiter at 26 Aquarius. So this is like midnight on Wednesday, like say morning, 12:21 a.m. Direct it wisely, right? This is a square to Jupiter. Jupiter wants to overgive, wants to give too much. Like here, take more. And Mars here could have slightly too much, right? So too much of anything, right? I think my mom, or I'm sure it was my mom that said, too much of anything is never a good thing, right? So it's like direct this whole lot of energy wisely, making sure that you're not overexerting yourself, right? Because, just too much is not always a good thing.
Yes.
Right. And
I subscribe to that same mentality. Okay. So let's move on. Saturday, December 11th, Venus conjunct Pluto.
So this is the first of 3 passes because Venus is now at 25 degrees of Capricorn, meeting up with Pluto, the big transformer. And in the sky, while Venus is going through her retrograde period, this is the only planet she's going to be meeting up with. And so this is the first of 3 passes. The last one will be in March 3rd. So we're looking at here.
It's a lonely party for Venus.
December. Now it'll probably be hitting somebody else's, natal charts placements, of course. In fact, Venus will be retrograding from 26 degrees of Capricorn all the way back to 11 degrees of Capricorn. So if anybody has any planets at Capricorn or any of the cardinal signs, which are Aries, Cancer, and Libra, those will be either opposition or square. So those will be a little bit harder to navigate during her retrograde period.
Okay.
But falling hard, it's like, is this worth it? Because there's 3 months of relationship situations that take on internal work. Venus going retrograde, and this is her internal, her inferior conjunction with the sun. But hey, if we all know, if each of us in this relationship knows that something is brewing on the back burner, right? That some kind of, brew is happening, we can actually take a ceremonious sip so that we can see how this works its magic from within, right? If we kind of take this sip in a ceremony to say, you know what, we're going to go on each our own internal journeys on what this relationship means for me.
Mm-hmm.
And then, we can talk about it throughout this period, but then we can see how we are matching, right? And I can help you with yours and you can help me with mine. It's not going to be so external because it's still ruminating inside. But we'll have touchstones points along the way. And we get one literally about 5 hours later.
Right, which is the next transit, same day, December 11th, Mercury sextile Jupiter.
Yeah, and this is the first touchstone. And this can be, passing the talking stick, make meaningful discussions that can actually go somewhere, that can actually have some girth, right? But it's also about having enjoyable conversations, right? Like we're understanding one another. We have a plan. This can be fun and enjoyable. It's
interesting.
It's like, yeah.
And I think how this fits in a little bit is the definition of a touchstone, which I quick looked up, and it's a piece of fine-grained dark schist or jasper formerly used for testing alloys of gold by observing the color of the mark which they made on it. So you would touch those alloys to the stone and you would see, what type of material it was. And I just think that is so interesting too, because, in these conversations that you're having and those feelings that you're, receiving from this like touching of soul to soul is like, what is the color that's showing up? What are you observing is this touchstone solution or like this result? So I just think that that's really interesting.
Like, is it gold? Is this valuable?
Gold? Right.
Is this something that, ooh, we got gold here.
Right.
We just struck gold, this touchstone. So we need to stay on here and see how valuable this subject or the conversation is.
Right.
And so, passing this talking stick, using this touchstone. And if you find that it's, dead materia, right? It's like, okay, we keep beating this subject matter over and over again, and we're not hitting gold. We're not even hitting, bronze. We're not even hitting silver.
Or even just with the person too, like with those people that you're having conversations with. So very interesting.
So thanks for looking that up, because, as we start that Saturday, the 11th, we start the morning of falling hard, getting into the relationship situations that for 3 months will take on a new, what's the worth here? Should we stay here? Are we deepening? Are we finding gold? Are we touching gold or not? And boom, by after lunch, we have these, conversations that can continue, the ones that are worthy. And of course, this is Venus too, right? So Venus going retrograde soon after this, in about a week, is already in her shadow and clipping up with Pluto for the first of 3 times is like, how can we alchemize this?
Right.
Right. Is this bronze? This is important for me, but not important for you. But can we turn this into gold for both of us?
Yeah.
And that's that 3-month whole visit.
So let's move on to Sunday, December 12th, Sun square Neptune.
Take time out. Maybe the day before, that Saturday that we just described and spent some time on, is really about now activating your creative muse. Be easy on yourself. Be easy on your mind. Be easy on other people. This is a softening and listening. So it's not real. Hopefully there's not a whole lot of important things due today. It's a Sunday. So that's nice that it's a Sunday. So it's like putting up the tree, having Christmas, baking some cookies, doing some things that are creatively imaginative, or, wishing upon a star, that kind of like fairy tale kind of
escaping
agreement.
into those tales, those storybooks. So let's move into Talisman Times. You have finished up one talisman that was today, Monday, December 6th, to be protected.
To be protected. Wherever I go and whatever I do, I feel and am protected, guarded, and shielded. This is so comfortable. So this holds a new moon energy, and we have Mars, because I did this at 5:10 a.m. This morning, that Mars is coming up over the horizon and is the ruler of the ascendant while the sun is below the horizon. So this makes Mars a stronger and more helpful malefic, and very strong in his own sign, Scorpio. And then the moon is making a conjunction with Venus in the second. So this is just about kind of a protection that if we really looked at it, we could see that there's Mars is in a placement. I'm just now seeing that of enclosure between Venus and Jupiter.
It
So
does,
this is
you
a
know,
protective
and in
area.
the words choice that you use, it does feel very cocoon like, very homey,
safe and secure.
safe and secure, you know, because wherever I go, whatever I do.
Yeah. And it's a new moon.
It's a
so
comfortable
about
space.
doing something, you know, not being fearful or not being afraid or feeling lack or, you know, this is, like you said, warm, you know, the Venus here making this aspect to Mars kind of tones down. Anytime Venus is making this applying sextile to Mars, she can actually, you know, soften or relax Mars, you know, just kind of like the priestess welcoming in the soldier from battle back before when Venus priestesses were the first touchstone, if you will, to the soldiers coming out of battle.
So let's move into the next talisman. That's Monday, December 13th, to acquire and receive respect.
Yeah, and to acquire, right? To gain, to work toward, to gather and receive and be open-handed, right? Be open-armed,
right?
For respect. My personal growth and wisdom is noticed in my world by those that surround me. I reach to the highest spiritual power and take you along the same path I am on. Now, this is the Sun, Mercury, and the Ascendant all in the third decan. And this is about the authority and having this spiritual knowledge of bringing this up into the world through oneself, through the talisman wearer, that anyone who follows that's in your vicinity, in your area, like this could be family, friends, neighbors, is kind of getting this support of acquiring and receiving respect. And, you know, there's a funny thing about respect, right? When you respect someone and you may say it, you know, you may share that, they all get that feeling of, you know, not overstepping any boundaries or really relating to them if they're your teacher or your coach or an authority figure, that they respect you in return, right? So respect begets respect.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah, just like anger begets anger.
Right.
Because, you know, pushing a button can push a bunch of buttons.
Right. And I also think that, you know, in this affirmation, I reach to the highest spiritual power. You know, I'm doing this. I'm actively pursuing those places that I, you know, want to attain. You know, and I think here is the assumption of like doing it in a very respectful, very moral, very you know, conscientious way. And then that's going to, you know, attract the people that are doing those same things.
And even if it's people that aren't doing those same things and they like what you're doing and they attract in you, they attach to you, they can get some of this, you know, this secondary, indirect experience of slowly working their magic by following or being around said person, the talisman wearer. So, because it's like, hey, I reach to the highest spiritual power and I take you that's standing right here along with me on the same path that I'm on. Like, come on, like this will be good. We get to walk together in respect, and we get to acquire it and receive it along the way. But we have to be open for it, right? We can't be shut down of lack. Of like, I'll never get it. This will never happen. No, like, open your arms, take your arms away from the folded position,
right?
You know, and receive and be a little bit vulnerable, right?
So reminder, Talisman of the Month is on the website to expand and radiate my higher mind. You get a discount on this and you get a $5 shipping credit. Just going to fast forward through that whole thing. So let's move on to the horizon because there's many things that are going on. I am trying my hardest to keep up, especially coming back from vacation. So all of these links, all of these places for you to drop in and get more information or purchase are either on their way or here. So,
and Alex, you've been doing a super job. You've got an awful lot on your plate, because more things that normally are divvied out to others have come back to you.
I'm magnetizing them back to me. So, okay. So first off, I want to talk about the holiday sales and offers that we have going up on the website. So when it comes to intention beads, orbit necklaces are all 20% off.
I know.
All of them. And that'll be for the remainder of December. So if you are looking for some, little stocking stuffers, gifts for, those that you love, I'm always looking for my girlfriends. I do it every year. I ship out from here some gifts over to them. So orbit necklaces are a great option.
Right. They're at $30 to $29.95 and then 20% off. Go figure that out. So that's about $6 off each one. Yep. So that gets certainly under $25.
Yeah.
And it's a really nice, even if you don't get it to them for Christmas or you don't share, it's a really good New Year
Absolutely.
gift. And even if you just purchase some and give them out throughout the year, right, for a birthday gift. They're so super. Yeah.
Also with She Beads, our original jewelry line, we have many holiday collections up. Also beautiful one-of-a-kinds.
Yeah. And those are selling fast.
They are. And oh my gosh, they're beautiful. And I think that's all I want to say here about that. But yes, these holiday sales will be going very quickly. So jump on, see if there's anything that you need. Also, I'm available in that little chat box. So if I'm there and able to respond to you, I can help you shop. I can help you answer some questions, or even customize a little bit. So, moving on, we did finish up the December Astrology Forecast. That is up on Facebook. You can also download the astrology cheat sheet. Since it is the beginning of December, you still have time with that. On December 7th, starting tomorrow, this is Tuesday, we have our holiday trunk show happening. So this is going to be where we're featuring the intention bracelets. We also will be having some of our top favorites for gifts. So I highly recommend joining in. It's completely free. However, if you wanted to join in the raffle for a free intention bead bracelet of your choice, which is amazing, I would highly recommend getting yourself at least a few of the raffle tickets, because the raffle tickets, what we love about this is that every single raffle ticket that you buy for $10, you get a gift certificate back in your hands for that same amount. So if you spend $50 for raffle tickets, you actually get a $50 gift certificate. So
win-win, and maybe win-win-win.
Right.
It's a triple crown win if your name is picked for the free talisman.
And also some good news is that I have those links up ready and available for you. And once you purchase those raffle tickets, it will email you automatically a link to either join in the Zoom call or the Facebook Live. So can't wait to see you there tomorrow. And that starts at 5:30 Central Time, Chicago time. So you'll have to do that time, change for yourself. December 8th, this is Wednesday, we have our astrology webinar, and it's all about the benefics, and that's Venus and Jupiter. So Sandy and Susan, aka Chatting with the Stars, are coming on to discuss what is happening with Venus, what is happening with Jupiter.
They're on the move.
They're on the move, and how can you practically utilize that information?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Venus is starting her retrograde cycle. We need to talk about that so that you can understand that. This is in Capricorn this time. And Jupiter, which let me just say, Venus retrogrades every 19 months. But in Capricorn, it wasn't where she retrograded 8 years ago. So we talk about the 8-year cycle of what themes could be coming back up for you that were in your life about 8 years ago. And actually, we do way deeper dive for our retreat.
Oh, yeah.
And then I'm going to be doing another deeper dive for that Venus Heliacal Rising Talisman ceremony that we're having, that January 15th date on the Saturday in January. But then Jupiter's moving into Pisces, and this is permanently now, hasn't been here. Was here briefly for a couple of months in the spring of this year, and then retrograded away and back, and coming back now permanently at the end of December to stay and go through the entire 30 degrees of Pisces. So all you Pisces people, or if you have Pisces planets in your chart, please sign up. This is a $25 webinar that Susan and I are doing, and we think that we've looked at 2022, and we're happy to look at. We've got webinars every month.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, in 2022. We didn't so much in 2021 because the big things that were happening were kind of scattered. But so we're back on the monthly horse to start teaching more and more of the webinars. So hop into this one, which is just a couple days from now.
Yes.
Yeah.
So click that link in the description, and you also will be receiving all of the login information as well. I do want to note here too that Sandy and Susan, right after the webinar, will be hosting some astrology readings. These are private, so you actually get Sandy and Susan together on your own chart. It's recorded and will be sent to you after. But you're there to discuss with Sandy and Susan for that 30 minutes or 1 hour that you need.
It's very interesting, especially if you've attended the webinar, and we can go ahead and look at where's Venus retrograding, handing in your chart. You can ask any questions. What will that be about for you specifically? And Jupiter. What's Jupiter doing in your chart as Jupiter moves into Pisces, into this mutable water sign? Do you have any other water planets? Do you have any other mutable planets which that will square? So it's a really nice, now that we're going to be doing it once a month, it's like attend the webinar and get a reading. It's a really nice way to get information.
Get a touchstone.
And then see how it's working for you.
Right.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And then work with it. Not just see how it's working for you, how you can pair up with the team of the universe to improve and invigorate your life. And we need that, right?
Yeah, and take a step deeper into your engagement and awareness of what actually is going on. So let's move on. December 18th. So you do have a little bit more time for this event coming up. This is the 2022 Astrology Forecast. This is with Sandy and Susan. It's our Facebook Live. However, at the beginning of the year, we always do this 2-hour special. And the 2-hour specials have giveaways. You get to take a look at the entire year with Sandy and Susan, and they briefly go through it. They'll go really hard into January, so you're prepped with that. But then all of the next months, they'll breeze over the major milestones.
Yeah, to get a really nice overhead glance and outlook, as if we were all standing on the mountain looking out into 2022.
Yes.
What is over there and what is over there?
Yes.
Yeah.
So yes, join us. That link is in the description. And January 15th, this link is coming soon. January 15th, Sandy is hosting a talisman ceremony for Venus rising. And I I want to mention this because it's the most, exciting part of it. This is going to be the earring talisman. And we don't normally do these at all.
We did it one time.
We did it one time
and
before.
That was 2 summers ago.
And it was beautiful. Oh. And what we really liked about this talisman is that Venus is that hand mirror. So if you know that Venus symbol, it was, you'll find it on some generic tampon, things, the Mars and Venus sign. The Venus sign is the hand mirror. So it is about this, self-love, beauty, aspect of ourselves. And so what we like about this talisman is that you're really seeing this in the mirror, that this talisman is a part of you. It's a part of your reflection. So,
and we've designed it a little bit differently.
It is.
Our last earring that we did, June of 2020, last time that Venus retrograded, we did a pink rose on a black background. Mm-hmm. This year we're doing a red rose on a green and purple background, and we're surrounding it by a round sterling silver circle because as she rotates around, and it's a round circle, so it's a new style for us. And I don't wear earrings. I never had my ears pierced because I've got this lump on my ear that I knew I never wanted off, and it's a Chinese doctor once told me that this is all the wisdom that I'm carrying from my past life. And that was told to me a couple years ago. And I was like, I knew it. I knew I should never have taken that off to get a hole put in my ear. But anyway, going back to earrings, you approved this earring style that I proposed to you.
Yeah, I love it. So you'll be hearing and seeing more of that. Of course, what I am going to do is add the link to join our mailing list if you haven't been there already, just so that you're the first to know once we're announcing that talisman ceremony on January 15th. So let's move into our house, shall we? We got to celebrate Hanukkah for the first time with some friends that have, over so many years of meeting together over and over again, every month, every other month, they're, now family. Mm-hmm. So it was great to be invited over there, having dinner, lighting the menorah, getting to hear them sing their songs. And
listening to the story, right? Yeah, we were at day 5, night 5, that they sing the song at sunset. And, they're small candles, so they just let them burn all the way down and put new candles in every night.
And so the story was just so interesting, similar to that of, the Catholic tradition of trying to feed a whole community of people with just a few fish and some wine, but being able to multiply that and feed everyone with it. Mm-hmm. This story is similar.
This is where just a small amount of oil was left. That's all they had to light them at the temple's menorah. And what happened is it miraculously lasted for 8 days. And so
and more specifically 8 nights, because they didn't necessarily need the lamps during the daytime. And that was really interesting for us. We had never really been witness to a tradition like that, and it was really special to take a step into someone else's family traditions. Mm-hmm. Because when you repeat your own family traditions again and again and again, and maybe this is just me, but I kind of just, I guess, subliminally expect that everyone else does the same thing. Mm-hmm. And when you're there, when you're witnessing how other people how other people or how other cultures celebrate, it is so interesting. And it's completely different. If we went to a different Jewish family's traditions mm-hmm. for Hanukkah, it could be completely different.
Well, I'm sure they do the lighting of the menorah and they sing their
hymns,
their song, which was very interesting. And and everybody around the table sang.
Yeah.
Everybody sang. And you and I kind of hummed it and staring at the candle and wondering what they're saying. And then after it was over, I'm like, can you explain what what you were singing? And
it's about the story.
Yeah, about the story, how the miracle of what was supposed to be one night lasted 8. And and then we started talking about the fish in the water that turned to wine and was able to feed the masses for the Christians. So
and even when you think of it in a modern day context, when you're completely exhausted and you feel like you have zero energy left and you can't go any further, you can't try any harder. What that, for me, these stories symbolize is that there's always more to stretch. There's always that extra distance that we can go. And even in finances, when we're getting very scared of finances, it's just about having the faith and having the determination to work hard and, not necessarily expect it, but know that you are supported, and just keep going that extra mile when you feel like you can't go any further. Mm-hmm. So those are great stories.
And one of the things I felt interesting, because there was this one candle that was not in alignment with, it was kind of separate. Mm-hmm. That was also lit. And she explained to me that is the servitor, or the lighter, the main light that lights the rest of the candles. And of course we were there on night 5. Mm-hmm. So there were 6 candles there, one that she starts, and then you take the one servitor and then light the remaining of it, kind of like bringing a light source to the rest of these candles that are in a row. Mm-hmm. And the candles didn't last long, and they went, all the way. They probably lasted 20 minutes, 30 minutes.
They were beeswax. They were fast burning. Yeah. So, and I even think like the symbolism in there too is that it really only takes one flame. Mm-hmm. That one flame, that one person to make a connection with another and kind of create this whole burning lamp. Mm-hmm. It just takes time. Right. So
because it really represents the human knowledge, the to be guided by the light of God, right?
So I loved it. We loved it.
And the food.
The food was delicious. The latkes were decadent.
And we even went
with the applesauce
to the bakery to get the dessert, right? So we picked out a couple.
They had dreidel cookies there at the bakery. We were so excited. They were delicious. And then we also got some snowmen cupcakes, but they actually also had a traditionally Jewish
it's like a doughy donut with a filling, a fruit filling inside.
Strawberry and raspberry, I think. And
delicious.
Oh my,
it
was
she sent
so
us home
good
with some for breakfast.
It was so good. So I think that's it. We do want to say happy Hanukkah to everybody out there. It was a wonderful tradition to be a part of, and happy holidays to one and all. We will see you next week, and until then, have a wonderful week, everybody.
Let's see you at the trunk show.
And so you finally know you control where you go.